So you have in the right angle triangle PRQ, hypotenuse square PQ square is equal to perpendicular square PR square plus base square, which is RQ square. The length of PQ is given to you as 17. So PQ square is 17 square. The length of PR is x plus, if you see here, the length of PR here is x plus 9. We'll write x plus 9. And the length of RQ here is x plus 2. We'll write x plus 2. Now if you expand, you will get a quadratic in x. And this quadratic, if you solve, you will get your value of x. So let us solve. 17 square is 289. X plus 9 whole square, solve this, expand this by a plus b whole square formula. A square plus 2ab plus b square plus a square plus 2ab plus b square. That means you get 289 is equal to x square plus 18x plus 81 plus x square plus 4x plus 4. So you have 289 is equal to x square plus x square will give you 2x square. 18 plus 4 will give you a 22x. And 81 plus 4 will give you a 85. You bring 289 on the other side, so this will become 0. So you get 2x square plus 22x plus 85 minus 289. So you get 0 is equal to 2x square plus 22x. 85 minus 289 is 204. So you're getting a quadratic in x. 2x square plus 22x plus 204 is equal to 0. Now you see that 2 is a common factor, so you can take 2 out. X square plus 11x plus, this should be a minus because you have a minus here, should be a minus. So this is minus 102 is equal to 0. That means x square plus 11x minus 102 must be equal to 0. Now you factorize 102 into two factors. What should be the factors? 17 and 6 should be the factors. So x square plus 17 and minus 6. So plus 17x minus 6x minus 102 is equal to 0. From the first two you can take x common, and from the third and the fourth term you can take 6 common. So you get x plus 17 into x minus 6 is equal to 0. That means either x is equal to minus 17, which is not possible because length cannot be negative, or x is equal to 6 centimeters. So the answer here is the length of the radius of the circle with center R here. This is 6 centimeters. This is what we have found. Okay. Move on to the next problem. Now this was a case where the circles were touching each other externally in this case. Okay. If you see circles with center P and R are touching externally, circles with, circles with center R and Q are touching each other externally also. Let us take a case where the circles touch each other internally, which is given in your second example. If you see, let's draw the figure first. This is your tangent, and this tangent is called the common tangent to the two circles, right? This is your center A, and this is your center B of the bigger circle. This is the point of contact P given to you. Also, there's a point T here that is given, and B and T are joined. So these two are joined. Now let us read the problem. In the figure given below, A and B are centers of the two circles. So A and B are centers of two circles given, fine. Of two circles touching each other internally at P. So they are touching each other at this point of contact, P. And T, I think T is not written here. If you see, T must be written here. Okay. T is a point on the common tangent. So if you see this line here drawn through P is the common tangent, and T is a point here on the common tangent, such that the length of PT is given to you as 12 centimeter. So this length is given to you 12 centimeter. BT is given to you as 13 centimeter. That means this length here, this entire length is given to you as 13 centimeters. And the radius of the circle with center A is 2 centimeters. Radius of the circle with center A, what does it mean? Radius of the circle with center A, let's write the center here. Radius of the circle with center A means if you join A and P, this becomes your radius. This radius is given to you as 2 centimeters. Question is, find the distance between the centers of the circles. That is, you need to find out the distance AB. AB is the distance between the centers of the circles. Okay, so what you do is you say P, A, and B lie on the same straight line. Reason is, when two circles touch each other, their centers and the point of contact lie on the same straight line. Okay, so what you do here is you join P, A, and B with the help of a straight line. So this becomes your straight line. Okay, now you have to find out the distance between the centers. That means you have to find out this length AB. Let us say this length AB is X. So we write this as, let the distance between the centers A and B be X. Let the distance between the centers A and B be X. So I've taken this length as X. Therefore, AB must be equal to X. Therefore, AB must be equal to X. And what should be the length of PB? Because PA and B lie on the same straight line, PB must be equal to X plus 2, right? Also, what is given to you here is the length of PB. This is given to you as 13 centimeters. Also, the length of PT is given to you as 12 centimeters. Okay. You also know that the tangent to a circle and the radius are perpendicular to each other at the point of contact. That means this angle here must be 90 degrees. Okay, so what you do here is you write AP perpendicular to PT. Also, AP perpendicular to PT. Why? Because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine. So that means now this becomes a right angle triangle here. Triangle BPT. This triangle here becomes a right angle triangle, and BT is the hypotenuse here. So this length is your hypotenuse. Okay. PB is your perpendicular, PT is your base. So we start by saying in the right angle triangle BPT, hypotenuse square, according to a figure, hypotenuse is BT. So BT square is equal to perpendicular is PB. So PB square, and the base here is PT. So PT square. Now you just put the values. BT or TB is 13 centimeters, right? 13 square is equal to PB. The length of PB here is x plus 2, and PT here is given to you as 12 centimeters. That's it. I will solve this equation. So 169 is equal to, expand this by a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square plus 12 square is 144. Yes, 169 is equal to x square plus 4x plus 4 plus 144. Means 169 is equal to x square plus 4x plus 148. That means if you take 169 on the other side, becomes this side becomes 0, plus 148 minus 169. You get 0 is equal to x square plus 4x. 148 minus 169 is minus 21. Therefore, you're getting a quadratic here. X square plus 4x minus 21 is equal to 0. Okay. Now you break 21 into two factors. What are the factors? 7 and plus 7 and minus 3. 7 into 3. Which is not possible. Then cannot be negative, or x is equal to 3 centimeters. So therefore, the distance between the centers of the two circles is 3 centimeters. That's it. So this was a case where two circles were touching each other internally. Okay. Let us do on the next theorem, which is a very easy theorem. This theorem relates the chords of the circles. Theorem is if two chords of a circle intersect internally or externally, okay, whether internally or externally, in both cases, then the product of the length of the segments are equal. Okay, so let us try to understand what it means. So we draw two cases here. First case is where the chords are intersecting internally, and the other case is where the chords are intersecting each other externally. you have two chords. In this case, you have two chords here. Let us call them AB. Let's call them CD. And they are intersecting each other internally, that is inside the circle, at P. And again here in the second case, you have two chords that are intersecting each other externally. Okay. So again AB and CD are two chords that intersect each other at the point P. You can join AC with the help of a dotted line. Okay. So given here chords AB and CD intersect each other. Internally or externally. Okay. Whether internally or externally, in both the cases this is going to work. Then my conclusion is that the product of the length of the segments must be equal. Look at the first figure. What are the segments? If you see the segments here is this is one segment PC from where the chords intersect. This is another segment PD where the chords intersect. Okay. Also, this is another segment PB from the point where the chords intersect. And finally, you have this segment also. Right. So you have four segments. Then according to this theorem, the product of the segment, that is PA, this segment, into PB, this segment, must be equal to this segment PC into length of this segment PD. Okay, this was for chords which intersect each other internally. What about the case where the chords intersect each other internally? What are the segments? Let us see the segments first. The segments here from the point of intersection are, this is one segment from the point of intersection, remember. This is one segment. Okay, PA. This is another segment, PB, from the point of intersection. This is another segment from the point of intersection, PC. And this length is another segment, PD. In both the cases, we can say that the product of the length of the segments must be equal. So PA, the red line, into PB, the blue line, must be equal to PC, the black line, into PD, the green line. Okay. So remember this, from the point, you have to take the segments from the point of intersection of the chords. Okay. So now based on this, we shall solve a sum. The question here is, the question has two parts, and if you see in the first part, the chords are intersecting each other internally, and in the second case, the chords are intersecting each other externally. So first case, first problem. Only the figures are given and the lengths are given. This is your first figure. Chords AB and CD, they are intersecting at the point P. and the length of these segments are given to you as 3 centimeter. This is your x centimeter, this is your 6 centimeter, and this is your 4 centimeter. Okay, you need to find out the value of x. So what we start by saying is AB and CD are two chords that intersect internally at P. At P. Therefore, the product of the length of the segments must be equal. So this segment PA into this segment PB must be equal to this segment PD into this segment PC. Now just put the values here, you will get the answer. PA is given to you as 6 centimeters. PB is given to you as x centimeter, which you have to find. PD is 4 and PC is 3 centimeters. This is an equation from which you can find out the value of x. That means x is equal to 4 into 3 divided by 6. I cancel. So this is 2 centimeters. So the length of PB is 2 centimeters. Now you have a second problem where the chords are intersecting each other externally. Let us do that case also, where the chords are touching each other externally. Part 2. In the figure, it is given to you that this length is 8 centimeters. This length CD is 9 centimeters. This length you have to find, given to you as x, and this length BP is given to you as 7 centimeters. So again you will write clearly AB and CD are two chords that intersect each other externally at P. Okay, so therefore, what can you write? The length of the product of the length of the segments must be equal. So what are the segments here? The first segment here, if you see, is from the point of intersection. This is the first segment, PC. We'll write PC into the next segment here that you can see is this length, PD. We'll write PD is equal to the next segment that you can see here is PA. This segment we'll write is equal to PA into, and finally you can see this segment PB into PB. Now simply put the values here. Now PC, the length of PC here is 9 plus 8 centimeters into the length of PD is 8 centimeters. The length of PA is x plus 7 into PB is 7 centimeters. Any question with the length? No problem. 17 into 8 is equal to 7 times x plus 7. That means you have 17 into 8 is 136 is equal to 7x plus 49. That means 7x is equal to 136 minus 49. Okay, therefore 7x 136 minus 49 is 87. That means x is 87 by 7 centimeters. We convert this to a mixed fraction, 12 3 by 7 centimeters. Okay, so this was a fairly easy theorem. That is, if two chords intersect each other, then the product of the length of the segment must be equal. No need to write in the case of this theorem, no need to write the statement here. But in case of other, if you write, it's okay also. But for other theorems, you must write. You must make it a habit. Now, the next concept is angles in alternate segment. This is a concept where most of you, you confuse. Okay, so listen to this concept very, very clearly and what you mean by angles in alternate segments. Okay. Now, what do you mean by segment of a circle? Just let me just a reminder. Segment of a circle, if you have a circle with a chord, then this chord divide the circle into two segments. What are the segments? This is the minor segment and this is your major segment. Okay. Now, once you know the concept of segments, now comes angles in alternate segments. What do you mean by alternate angles in alternate segment? These two are alternate segment. The blue one and the red one are actually the alternate segments. Okay, you have one angle here. Let me write here. You have one angle here. Angle, say angle number one. Any one angle on this chord. It can be this angle. Okay, or it can be this angle. All these angles are angles in the red segment. Okay, and you have another angle here. Say like this on the same chord. You can have another angle here. So these angles, all these angles, even this angle here, all these angles are angles in the blue segment, the major segment. Okay. Now we come to the theorem. So clearly you must have a chord first of all for this theorem. So in order to apply this theorem, you must have a chord. And what is the next thing that you must have? You must have a tangent also. Okay. At the point of contact, uh, at the point where at the point on the circle where the chord intersects the circle, at that point you must have you must have a tangent. So let us say that you have a chord here. Okay, let us call this chord as AB, and you also must have a tangent at A or B, either at A or B. Let us draw a tangent at A. This is your tangent at A. Okay, now you have, if you see, this chord divides the circle into two segments, the major segment and the minor segment, and you must have certain angles here, say angle 2, and you must have certain angles here. Okay, and let us see what these angles are. How can we draw these angles? From the point of contact, you draw this angle, or you can draw this angle, or you can draw this angle also. Many angles can be drawn. All these angles are in the major segment. Okay, so all these angles are in the major segment. Okay, and the angle between this chord and this tangent will be this angle. Okay, then these two angles, any pair of angles that you consider this angle, and if you consider this angle, these two angles will be angles in alternate segments. Let us call this point PQ and R. And let us call any point on this tangent to be T. We say that angle BAT and angle APB are angles in alternate segments. We say these two are angles in alternate segments. That is, I'm talking about this angle and I'm talking about this angle. Also, you can say angle BAT and angle AQB are angles in alternate segment. This time I'm talking about this angle and this angle. Similarly, angle BAT and angle ARB are angles in alternate segment. This time I'm talking about this angle and I'm talking about these angles. So all these pairs of angles are called angles in alternate segments. I will continue in the next class. Okay.